say one team is 5-0 and with one forfeit loss, and the other team is 5-0, right? That means they've lost one game thoroughly. Stick will go off on the first game and give the Mustangs the lead in game number 1, 8 seconds in already.
See, I really wanted to go to the underdog story and say I actually believe in the Vultures in a 5 game. It's not a promising start, but I'll stick with it. Vultures in 5 for me. Let us know in chat what you guys think. We already ran the prediction bot. And to start us off, Kitsune with the equalizer. We're 10 seconds in and 2 goals. I think we're in for a great one.
I don't doubt you whatsoever. I see this and, oh, Zap, he kind of self-burns himself there. And I mean, it kind of warranted, right? But at the same time, it's rare to see those, right? It's taking accountability for your actions, and considering the fact that a lot of these players are in their low 20s or even in their teens, right? Taking self-accountability is pretty rare, as we're only 21 seconds in, and within that blackjack, we've had 3 hits.
Neither team quite able to stabilize yet. You know, you're uncertain what to see. Both teams just sort of flinging it back downfield, but right now it's going the way of the Vultures, and a really good start for them. They needed to come out early because, again, if the Mustangs are the true #1 team, right, you want to put them on the back foot, get them questioning themselves. Don't let them establish their rotation. So far doing a phenomenal job of that. But we're only 30 seconds in, so both teams a lot of room to calm down and take us to a more, what we would expect, stable style of gameplay from them.
Let's see how stable that stays as Richard needs to make that save. And it's going to be cleared out by Bots. Back over to Richard. Crash goes up in the air. Bots puts it back in. And it's just going to be some back and forth here. Richard will break that one up off the back wall, but Kitsune won't be there right away. Richard can't find a demo. And Crash will get that ball cleared out. A good demo on stick, though. Zap is last man back. And so Zap needs to make a good play there. Beautiful aerial, doesn't get hit until the very end. It allows for both of his teammates to rotate back in. And that's exactly what you want to see out of rotations from these guys. And you can instantly tell the difference between the double play and single A. Oh, Bots had the opportunity, but it just slipped between his axes there. And the other demo coming out on the stick.
Yeah, you know, these guys obviously were watching this last game because, at least for the Vulture side of it so far, they're doing a phenomenal job of working with their teammates. A lot of passes from them so far, a lot of offensive aggression, but the Mustangs are hanging in there. Just off their individual prowess, they're winning some of these balls, clearing them downfield, allowing time for their teammates to get some boost, rotate in. A lot of demos coming out from the Vultures. This will play a huge part in this game if the Mustangs don't figure out how to deal with it. But so far, doing a really good job of keeping it close, and closer it is as Zap buries this one from the left side and ties us up 2 minutes into the game. And I feel like we've already participated in a 5-game series.
That shot was as fast as lightning. No wonder his name is Zap. Oh my goodness. We're tied at 2. 3 minutes, 2 seconds left on this clock. We've got a big series ahead of us. And I understand why the Vultures are indeed the one of the favorites in your opinion, right? And it's mostly because of the names on the scorecard. And I can't blame you, right? Both Kitsune and Richard have amazing track records in our offense. So it'd be blasphemy to think that, oh, a team could beat a team with Kitsune and Richard on it, right? Like, who could beat that? Well, there are plenty of people who want to make names for themselves, and players like who aren't that well known, like Zap, who are pretty newer to the league, or Trash, who's probably changed his name, right? Who's gone and just scored a goal there. 2:21 left on that clock, giving the Mustangs the lead, and they're the ones right now who have a lead over the Vultures, and they're the ones who are able to get those leads above, like those 2 players I just said.
Yeah, I mean, he may be new, but he's no slouch, right? Zap currently rated the best player in AA by many accounts. So he's doing what he needs to do so far to bring his team back into this with a really good pass. Ooh. That's not quite what he wants, right on the open net, but that's okay. Still up 1, still doing it for their team. And, you know, after that initial barrage from these Vultures, we haven't seen them be able to successfully move it downfield, get it to a teammate. You know, Zap himself, but also his teammates in the Mustangs are doing a phenomenal job on their backboard defense, clearing it downfield to each other, speeding up and forcing these Vultures to make mistakes or just feel uncomfortable with their speed of play. Dumping the ball down like this, a perfect example of the Vultures. If they're going to win this game, they have to possess the ball
And I've seen a lot of things that I did not see 2 years ago, right? When I first started casting Rocket League a year and a half ago, right? There weren't as many demos as there are today. Zap with a goal. 89 seconds left on this clock. I want to finish this tangent, sorry. We'll talk about the goal after. There weren't as many demos, right? There were more rule ones, right? You want to take someone out of the play? Rule one, right? Right now, there's opportunities for rule ones. Instead, what they're doing is that they're bumping the guy out of the way and letting their teammates demo. These are amazing team plays to get people out of the game. And instead of taking yourself out, you're demoing the other players and getting them out of position. It's so smart. And it's allowing so many goals. And it's 4-3, 75 seconds left. It's back and forth.
7 goals into the series, and we're only in game 1, 4 minutes in. I mean, neither team really having some defense to talk about, I'm going to be honest. We'll talk about it after the game, but I think both teams have noticed some weaknesses from each other that they can harp on. Which team is going to coalesce first or clean up their own mistakes? And these are guys that I expect, especially with their records, to be able to adjust mid-game. Which one's going to do it first? We're going to find out. Still the Mustangs up 1, and with only a minute left. All the onus is on these Vultures to score in this.
The Vultures can do that. The ball is in their zone. Good save by Kitsune. But Stick, he's going to travel with this ball, flicked up in the air. No one to go get it, and Trash, he's just going to retreat, leaving Stick all alone in the offensive zone. He's lost so much of that precious time that the Vultures need. That's over 15 seconds of time lost just because one player stayed in that zone. He barely had any boost, and he lost all that time. The time continues to fall away between the sands of the hourglass. Trash will pick that one up. There's no one who's going to be able to pressure him for the moment being. Kitsune gets that shot wide, and there you go. Now they have the opportunity in the offensive zone. Down to Richard. Bots can't find him. It's wide, and that's cleared out. Zap, he's going to try and get it past Kitsune. Kitsune does it for him. Over to Trash. Puts it into the corner. The ball can no longer hit the ground. Red zeros on the clock. The ball up in the air. It's off the back wall. Can Bots get to it in time? Yes, he can. It's popped up. Richard up into the corner it goes. Kitsune can't get the pitch. Zap tries to put it down. It's kept up in the air, but Zap puts it down. And game 1 goes to the Mustangs.
Yeah, it was a wild one, and there were opportunities there in the end for the Vultures to take it. So neither team out of this series, but both teams displayed some weaknesses that the other should capitalize on. For the Mustangs, they saw that the Vultures' defense did not look good. They consistently didn't know how to transition back onto defense. So the Mustangs would bang it downfield or carry it downfield and just score. For the Vultures, they noticed that by virtue of having one of the best players in AA on your team, inevitably his teammates are not going to look as good. And you could feel how slow Stick and Trash were that game, right? So the Vultures started to take advantage. When they could get those demos out, they knew the Stick and Trash couldn't quite get back in, so they took advantage and buried it on that open net once they got the demo. That's what they have to keep doing. You have to punish the rest of that team, right? That's what you're going to do, because you're not really going to beat Zap on the one-on-one unless you just think you're better or he's having an off day. You have to capitalize on his teammates who just are not quite at his level. But as I said, the Vultures defense that game didn't look good. They were all over each other. They didn't rotate correctly, and the Mustangs just sort of took free goals. They just hit it downfield, and they're like, sure, I'll take another one, whatever. You need to force these Mustangs into one-on-one scenarios, because I think that's where, if you're the Vultures, you will win a lot more than you'll lose, and that's what they need to do going forward as now down 1 in the series.
Here's the thing, right? Can you really blame anyone, right? That entire game, right, despite everything happening, everyone had at least 300 score, right? No one slacked off. I said everyone's name at least once in that last 20 seconds in, right? Which means something. It means you were there. Some people are absolutely invisible for 2-3 minutes at a time. Everyone was visible from the start of the game to the end of that game. So that's very important to know, right? That is a very, very important distinction. That means that, hey, everyone was there. It's not one person's fault that we lost this game. It's just a team thing. We need to get the ball rolling. And guess what? Kitsune up to Bots, and that's the first goal scored by someone not named Kitsune. And Kitsune gets his first assist as well.
It's a great play to come back out, right? You would wonder maybe the Vultures a little bloomed. They had such a good opportunity to tie it up at 0 seconds, but a phenomenal answer in game 2. They're playing together. They're doing what I said. They were punishing mistakes from the back two on these Mustangs, and it works out beautifully. Zap is going to have to recognize that and back up for his teammates, maybe play even a little safer than he was there. But a great start for the Vultures, and they need to continue that style of team play. That double, though, is dangerous, and you can't let that happen too often.
You can't let it happen too often, right? And because you've seen it, right? You're going to get punished for it. It's very rare that a punishable offense will go unpunished, right? There is a solid justice system in this series, and look at that. Richard will take advantage of that justice system, score his first goal of this series.
Yeah, again, Trash can't get there. He does sort of get there, but Richard with a better fit taking it on the low ground, intentional or not, it's a really good maintenance of offensive pressure that the Vultures have done this game. They aren't allowing these Mustangs to just pop it downfield, establish themselves, and try to get, the air carry that they're so good at. But this is terrible 50 for them. Too close is Kitsune, and Stick able to find the 50 going his way. A bit of a mistake and a bit of a lucky 50 there puts the Mustangs within one.
That's a sticky situation. That's all I'm going to say. Your face says it all. 3 minutes, 50 seconds left on the clock. Come on, people. You did not miss my puns. Don't complain. I'm back.
Yeah. Cubics had your back. He was always trying to throw them out there for you while you were in your absence. But speaking of absence, we're starting to lose. Again, we saw in this game 1. Vultures had a ton of good offense. They looked fast. They looked powerful. And then they just sort of backed off and the Mustangs controlled the back out. You don't want that to happen against the Vultures. There's still a lot of game to play. You're only up 1. It's encouraging to see them move back on the offense, but there was a dangerous moment in which the Mustangs looked like they had figured it out.
Within 100 seconds, every player had at least 100 points. Again, no one is slacking off. When you average 1 point per second, normally you're either on top of the leaderboard or at the middle of the leaderboard, right? But when you are getting more than 1 point per second on average, and you're at the bottom of the leaderboard, that means you're playing an amazing support role, and the entire team is working like a well-oiled machine. Both teams are working like well-oiled machines, and right now it feels a bit like the immovable object versus the unstoppable force, right? You've got two amazing well-oiled machines going up against each other, and they're both showing their cons and pros. And right now, we're seeing both of them in action, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful symphony.
And there's an argument to be made that this game is basically a preview of what playoffs, if you did them in their current form, would look like in the finals, the grand finals. The Mustangs, a good goal comes out here, again excelling on that, just popping it downfield, mistake on the defense from the Vultures. They just find the open net again, and this is where they keep killing these Vultures. I love the offense, right? But you have to know how to control as third man in that backfield. So far, I haven't been able to do it. But there's the argument to be made. This is grand finals. Jaguars haven't been able to figure these Mustangs out, so you don't imagine they're going to beat them on their side of the bracket. So this is what you'd want to see moving forward.
Well, I mean, no matter who you support, right? You just want to see an amazing game. You're here to watch and listen to an amazing game. And when players play like this, right? When both teams are relentless, right? Last series, it was relentless, to say the least, right? So sometimes it relented, sometimes it was relentless. It depended on which time. Right now, it's relentless nonstop. And so you still have that same uncertainty who's going to win. Who's actually the better team here, right? But you also have constant seat edging, right? You're not sitting down whatsoever. In fact, I'm probably going to start standing up real soon because of this series, because I'm just going to be absolutely flabbergasted by what I see. And so far, I mean, I'm not disappointed whatsoever, as I got front row seats to watch this game.
Yeah, I know. Okay, here we go. Another opportunity stick, open downfield. Finally, we have some defense coming out from the Vultures. That's a really good demo, too, to buy some time for Kitsune to try to beat Trash here in the midfield. But both of these teams, on the grand scheme as well, I know, this isn't a league like United Rogue where people are like, my org is the best and I have a bunch of org pride depending on the players. But both of these teams honestly carry a lot of org pride for them. Bulls org, Bulldogs are making a comeback, but overall look pretty bad. Bulls, in the sense that Bulls fell apart and they're still looking for a roster, right? So these are their best, most winning teams, and the Mustangs are a part of this organization. On the other end, the Vultures, they're the same thing. Light Eagles sort of
Right.
struggling at the moment and stuff like that. So these Vultures have a lot to play for their org. So there has a lot to come in there. And going forward, you want to see these guys, so a lot to play for. And with this tied up, 30 seconds, both teams have done a really good job calming down. And I can't wait to see which team ends up breaking the other here at the end. Yeah.
Tied at 2. We'll talk about orgs during the little timeout that we'll get in between games here. For like 15 seconds left. I feel like this will be the first overtime of our evening here as Richard tries to put it up front for Kitsune. Cleared out, and here comes Stick down for Trash. Trash won't go for it. The shot is on net. Oh no!
What did you do? No! This is Rocket League! No! Oh no! There's still time. There's still time. He can make up for it. Just get a kickoff goal. Just Vultures don't play. Just even it back up. Let's go OT.
The camera comes back on. I heard some because I am in disbelief, ladies and gentlemen. That is a throw. That is what we in gaming in general call throwing.
And
That
Trash
will
is
get
kicking
you
the-
kicked from your team normally. Oh man. Well, let me go back to that org preface that you were talking about, right? Vultures have all that pride. And I remember players like Oibu having so much pride in his Flames organization at the time when he was still GM of that Flames org, right? When I first came to RLPC in Season 10, he was the GM of the Flames, and he still was up until, I think, Season 13.
Yeah,
And
now it's Trots.
yeah, now it's
both
Trotz. So he was absolutely just prideful of his team. He was proud of it. Every single time that a team of his made the playoffs, he was proud. Whether it be his own major team or a team down in A, right? And sometimes he even went into the indie leagues, right? He went into the Mavericks, Indie, Paladin, and I forget the last one, but Renegade. But he still loved his teams, right? And he did all he could to make sure all 4 of his teams went into the playoffs. There are a lot of GMs out there who put a team together and said, you know, this is good enough. Oibu was never that way, and he always made good trades. He continued making his team better wherever he could until he was satisfied with the team, and then he'd focus on the next one, right? And he focused all of his love on all of these teams. He was proud of everyone, and he kept only the people who were proud with him. And that was what made the Flames organization so good for so long, sadly. They didn't always win the championship, but that didn't matter because he was still proud that they made the playoffs. He was still better than the average team, and they could get that under their belt. Zap starts us off in game number 3 here. 4:32 left on the clock. And another early goal, but it keeps getting on later and later. Maybe by game 5, if there is a game 5, we'll see a goal come in only 1 minute in instead of 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I know Squintel's tired of getting all them finals appearances with no chips, so maybe it's team to figure it out. But regardless, I mean, you know, we had come into this game 3 now tied in the series. Who's going to strike first? Well, the Mustangs have turned things around. That was the best start from them so far we've seen in the series. Just pushing these Vultures who look a little slow off the start here. You know, maybe taking all that time to get us into the next game, slow them down a little bit, and now it's their turn to answer. And the Mustangs have done a really good job of when they're up, maintaining that lead. So they need to keep that pressure on. To see what they can do to push these guys. The Vultures are really good when they can maintain the ball possession and move it on the offense, but if they can't, they have struggled on the defense, and that's what the Mustangs should aim to capitalize on.
Capitalization is the name of the game. I mean, last time it was a 4-3. First game was a 4-3. Second game was a 4-2. Let's see if we can find ourselves another 1-goal game and capitalize on the mistakes of our enemies here. And Trash going for the opposite boost. This could make or break here because now there's no boost here for Kitsune, but he had full boost. Never mind. He had full boost. It's fine. It was completely fine. I was
took the mid as
fearful
its spawn.
for nothing.
So you got
Right,
pretty
exactly.
lucky with that.
very lucky with that spawn, because or else he would have been stuck. No boost, a ball in the corner, and no teammates to rotate back in, right? He was very lucky to get that boost in the midfield. Zap puts it into the corner. Gil can't get it back to himself. He tried, but he won't be able to stick. Puts it towards the center, but no teammates, so he goes back for it himself. Trash puts it towards the center field. That was not expected, as that's going to be a nice, beautiful goal, and he's going to dab on the haters and his opponents.
And a great start for the Mustangs. I mean, this game's going by a lot faster, but the Vultures, I'm not really sure what they changed, but they're so spaced out on defense, and this is part of their problem. They're so slow to react because they're so far from each other. I mean, in that play alone, you had one player in your back right, one player in your back left, and one player in the center, and that's just not going to work. For a team that plays like they do, which is just capitalize on each other's touches, you can't play that spaced out. It's not going to work. You're not going to make yourself bigger or feel bigger on the field against a team like the Mustangs. So they got to clean that up on defense or just start moving to the offense, kind of like the Rattlers needed to do and succeeded in doing by the end of the series.
I'm going to go against you here because I like a team that's more wide, right? Because then they aren't stepping on each other's toes, right? They aren't getting in each other's ways, and they are still able to make some plays. And with time to look at a play happen, right? If you're stuck next to the ball or you're far away, right? Well, that'll give you extra time, right? Extra frames to see the play happen and be like, okay, this is what I need to do, right? Your impulse is much less of an impulse and it's more of a decision when you're more spaced out and you can communicate with your teammates. So being spaced out is not all bad, and it's not mostly bad, in my opinion, right? It's got one small bad thing, as you said. They're really spaced out. Maybe they are just a little bit too much, right? But it's a good play altogether, even though in that play, they went for demos, they double dipped, and last man back over-committed once again.
But that's what I'm talking about. That's the perfect example. This team is not fast enough to play that far apart. So what they do is that right there. They get beat on the front, and it's 1v1 with your third man, who just challenges from half a field away, feels like he has to jump, and then he gets roasted. And so Zap's just like, okay, well, then this is free. And then he beats him, and it's an open net. That's their problem. If you're going to play like that, don't challenge at all. Because you're not going to win that challenge. And so that's been their issue all game. They haven't gotten anything started on the offense or just felt rushed. They haven't pressured this Mustangs team, and the Mustangs team has reached the benefits. Up 3 with a minute left. This game is all over.
And for our fastest little flash here, Zap, he's so fast. His mechanics, his movement are pretty dang good, right? And when it comes down to everything that happens on this field, it feels like when it comes to decision making, not in terms of raw skill, right? I won't say that Zap is the best raw skill in this lobby, but I will say he has the fastest reaction and decision making time. He seems to be very good at having less time to see a play and make his decision based off of it and have it be a right decision. I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, it does, and it's true. But not only that, this game in particular, the Vultures have given him time to make those decisions. I mean, you saw that in the last play. You had 30 seconds left. You beat 2, and you bumped 2 from the first man in Kitsune there, and just sitting out in the midfield with Richard. He just was like, I'm gonna wait, because he had another teammate upfield too, and you can't wait. You're down 3 with 30 left. I mean, you got to go. They'll score one here, so this is a great momentum builder going into this game. But I think where they excelled games 1 and 2, when they did not win game 1, is speed. They didn't play very fast this game. They're going to need to find that game 1 and 2 potential from the Vultures. And I know you came out hot, and now you're getting into the meat of the series. But with the Mustangs up 2-1 now, it's all going to be on the Vultures. How do they turn around? How do they respond? There are still mistakes that they can capitalize on from the Mustangs. But the Mustangs, they have shown that when you give them time and space, they are just a phenomenal, fast, mechanical team. So if you can shut that down, you've still got a chance to hear the Vultures, but it's on you to show us that you can do it going into game 4.
Vultures, first 2 games, I said it, right? Every player in this lobby was getting at least 300 points, 1 point per second. And that is something I've actually tried to keep myself, right? Like, whenever I play, if I'm not getting 300 points, I didn't play good enough, in my opinion, right? So, how do you get points? Well, you get ball clears, you get ball touches up in the air, you get ball centers, right? All those small things add up with time, right? It's all about the goals. It's not about the saves. It's not about the assist. At the end of the day, it's all about those small little things that add up to the extra, let's say, 200 points that you need if you score one goal to get yourself up to 300. And in that last game, in game number 3, there were 3 players that were at 100 points. And that is not good to see. You want everyone to be participating and everyone to go ham. And there you go. You said the momentum breaker there at the end of game 3 that might put things into Vulture's territory. Once again, 19 seconds in, these goals keep on coming on early. No game has gone more than 30 seconds without a goal at the start. That's another fun fact. But it's crazy to think for me.
It's a fantastic start, first of all, for these Vultures to get back into this game, to score first, to get some momentum on your side. But you know, I was listening to you talk about the points, and let me just give you the toxic solo queue ranked teammates response. Points, they don't matter. So what if I have 6 of them? They don't matter. They don't matter at all. To which I go, the only way you get points is by making quality touches, and that matters. But either way, I see what you're saying. You're right. Everybody needs to get involved, and that is again where the Vultures have excelled. Right? When they score, it's because everybody gets involved. Most.
Right.
For the Mustangs, we saw they're very reminiscent, honestly, of the Rattlers in that they're very solo-oriented. They've done some phenomenal stuff solo play, and again, we see another come out from Stig here. Can they incorporate that into team play? I don't necessarily think they have to, but if the Vultures are going to take it to you on a team style, you're going to have to find ways to break that. That's a good start with the demo.
Zap pops it up. He's going to get the boost on top of that. That's tons right under him. Lucky man, as Trash puts it up in the air. It's getting beautifully cleared out. There's Bots. No, he can't put it in. Oh,
not enough boost. So close, but so far.
Oh. I mean, maybe if he had a longer car, maybe if he had like the Cyclone or the Samurai, right? But then again, that's a whole different car topic, right? The format of your car is so important as that is wide of the net, wide of the goal, and wide of the ego. That's gonna hit. No! There's a little bit of breakdown. A little
Error.exe bot Zapper stopped working. He hit it too close to the sun like Icarus, and then he hit his teammate just to confirm the clear for the Vultures.
It's a little bit odd. It seems like the Mustangs, they were pretty good at spacing themselves out. Not as much as the Vultures, mind you, but their communication, as you said, they were closer together. And because of that, they could do impulse plays a lot faster, but it leads to a lot more mistakes, right? In my opinion, Mustangs have made a lot more mistakes, but their impulse is so much faster, right? They're a faster team, as you have said a few times, that they're able to mitigate the mistakes from becoming instant goals to, okay, well, we're giving them small opportunities! No! This is what it was happening here with the Vultures, except the opposite, right? Game 3 Vultures, they were going through this thing where no one was able to rotate. And right now, the Mustangs are over-rotating.
Well, this is what I talked about going into game 2. Again, Zap wasn't in the play. He was in the midfield somewhere because he had taken the offense first. So he had to beat the Trash and Stig. And so you pop it over both of them, and then you pop the shot over Stig again after he flops back down into the miss. That is where you capitalize. You are the Vultures. Over and over and over again. Beating him in the 2v2 situations like that. It worked out well. The Mustangs are looking to get into this one. And if they can score within the next 15 seconds, they are definitely still in the series. Kitsune, that's a great flick. And the 50 just goes in. Oh my God. We're going to game 5. We knew it. 100%. Unless somehow a miracle goal starts off this kickoff, which is possible. But this is a great play from Kitsune. Fortunately going his way. Zap in the backfield. And Mistake comes out there from the midfield, the challenger of the Mustangs.
If you have 10 seconds to score each goal, you are still in the game. And that's what I've been told a few times by GMs and coaches, is that you're never out of it, especially with 100 seconds left on that clock, well now 90, to score 3 goals. That's a goal every 30 seconds. That's so doable, right? In your head. You say, well, 1 goal every 30 seconds. I can do that. As that's a good save by Bots on a stolen play, as you seem to be completely bamboozled.
Zap had the ground pinch, and that's what I thought was about to happen. He was about to fake the defender out of his jorts and ground pinch it under him. And Stick was like, nice, smell the go. It smells delicious. And he messes it up, and we go back downfield and secure the game for the Vultures. What just happened?
So, when it came to the Vultures in Game 3, right, we were talking about how they were too slow, right? Their rotations were too slow. They were too far away from each other, right? In this case here, the Mustangs are rotating too fast and are stepping on each other's toes. They're taking each other's shots. They are stealing the ball away from each other. And it's leading to massive amounts of discombobulation.
But that's a good answer. I mean, again, you're still in this game now because of that. You're only down 3 with 52 left. You theoretically would only need like around 10 seconds, maybe 15, somewhere in there to tie this game up. And that's a big mistake from the Vultures. You can't let off the gas pedal because you also need to think about game flow. So, good answer from the Mustangs. Vultures, I honestly think they need another one to take some more momentum going into the next game.
Yeah, they need to take away every last drop of hope from this Mustang team, because if they score another one here, if the Mustangs score another one and are able to really get in there into the heads of Vultures here, right? Did the Vultures give up? Is that why they scored that last goal there? Or is there some more meaning to it as we do see another goal? And oh no!
Fast enough, we've got too much time.
We have plenty of time. I said it earlier, right? 1 goal, 10 seconds, and you're still in it. And oh, we were saying, oh well, they're over, right? It's 4-0. There's 60 seconds left on the clock. That's a goal every 15 seconds. They score 52 seconds left on the clock. 3 goals every 17 seconds. Yeah, that's doable. And then they score another goal. 2 goals every 12 seconds. They should be able to do it. But now, last down to the last 10 seconds. They need to score from this point here, but that's not going to happen. Trash. Oh, he finds it, but can Zap score it in before zero's on the clock? No, he can't. But what they can do is steal away all the momentum. They scored 3 goals in the last minute here, and even though they've lost the game, they've gained all the momentum back. This is a disaster for the Vultures. They've won the game, but they've lost the mental, and they might have just lost the war. They've won the round, but at what cost? At what cost, Medic?
All right, so let me, first of all, since I predicted the Vultures in 5, first of all, we're going to game 5. We knew this. It's great. I might have to, you know what I mean? Just let's tell these teams to wait a minute. Let's let them calm down, you know, reset the momentum, give the Vultures some time. No, but I think you're right. That was terrible from the Vulture. What you cannot let happen is the Mustangs find their vibe and move that vibe into game 5. You found your vibe into game 3, carried it into game 4 here for the Vultures. You just let the Mustangs not only do that, but do that 3 times better. And so they score 3 goals unanswered in the end. And there is the argument to be made that these intermissions are a good mental reset point. That is true to an extent.
It
but
can also be a mental killer too, isn't it?
It could be, but not just that. The Vultures perform what I like to call the peaked in high school moment right there. They peaked way too early in game 4 and just fell out in the end of game 4. And what you do not want to happen is that you don't reset in this little interim and you go into game 5 exactly like you just ended game 4. And honestly, 3 goals of momentum for the Mustangs is crucial. So if you're the Vultures, you have to score first. If they don't score first, I predict they lose because you have to crush that momentum that you just let the Mustangs build. You can't let them do it. Play like you did the first end of game 4 and the Vultures take it. But if they let the Mustangs score first, Mustangs win.
So
prediction right there, hot take. Here's where we go.
So you're saying that the Vultures finished prematurely?
Pretty much, but I was saying it in nicer words.
As we head into game 5, are we going to get another early goal? No game has gone so far without a goal within the first 30 seconds, and no game so far tonight has gone into overtime. Will any of that change? Well, we shall see. 10 more seconds to see if that little stat changed.
Oh,
and
no.
Watts is going to shoot it wide. And there you go. The
double no.
Getting to both teams here. Both teams under the pressure. Zap tries to shoot it on net. Kitsune puts it away. And there you go, 30 seconds have passed, and we've not gotten a single goal. And I think from here on out, we're not going to get a goal. For the first 2 minutes, I'm going to suggest no goals here, because both teams are going to solidify their defense. They're going to lay down the brickwork, right? They're going to go into the masonry here and just build an impenetrable wall, an impenetrable fortress, and then they're going to let, both teams are going to let each just have their little attempts, right? Normally, you'd see this in game 1, but this is game 5. This is for all the marbles, and so we're going to see great saves. We're going to see some great stuff here, some amazing rotations, and Trash. You saw it there. He retreated. He stayed in the zone. And as last man back, he did not go for that ball. And he was in great position. Had no boost, sadly. And could not get that in time. Stick is dead. And that's what stops that one from actually getting stopped. Beautiful play by whoever sent Stick to the Shadow Realm. And that's the first goal.
Botsy made that play. Without that, I think it's a counter goal for Mustangs. But Botsy takes out the only defender that can make that save. As a try as he might, there's no angle Trash can make to get there after trying to commit his first one, which was right. He did the right thing. It just was a phenomenal bump that comes out. And I said it, the first one to score has the momentum. I think it was the Vultures. The only way the Mustangs get back into this game is if they can find a counter downfield goal, but they look a little shocked. And if the Vultures can score at least one more, they secure the kill.
Ever there is a time for a mean goal to go in, if ever there is a time for a bomb to go in, right? Like an absolute ball shot, right? It's not now. If ever that happens, it's the momentum killer. Whoever scores that wins this game. 100%, right? If a slow roller just passes by someone, right? A squeaker, right? That's it. It's over, right? A good goal like that one that was just scored, it might shell shock a team for a bit, but it's not something that will keep you down for too long. And you see the Mustangs here are putting on some pressure. They're in the offensive zone. They are pressuring, and they're doing the right thing. They're still down by that one goal, but they're still in this game and the series. But if ever there was a time to not mess up, it is now, right? You cannot afford to make a mistake. And Botsy, yes, he did score that goal. He did make that amazing bump, and he failed to score that goal earlier on, and that cost his team later down the road. Zap makes that save. 2:05 left on the clock. Let's see what he can do. He's got boost, and he's got Trash, and that's off the back wall there. Can he put that in? No, he misses. Stick, he'll go up. Kitsune's there first. Trash puts it up in the air, tries to stop Botsy. Botsy puts it down. Richard, he'll not get it. Botsy, oh my goodness, he gets it past 2. Can't get it past 3. Zap up in the air. The shot is good. Richard is better. Makes that save. Zap steals the boost. Trash puts it up for Zap. Botsy with the save. And cleared out by Richard there. And it's on for the score. 90 seconds.
The longer this goes on, the more it favors the Mustangs. Because although the Vultures are up, if they don't score again, the mental pressure for them is arguably bigger than the Mustangs. Because it's like, we have this game. We're ready to go. Should I go for this hit? Maybe we don't need it. Maybe it will. But the bump comes through again! And Botsy will score!
There's a double commit right there. Look at this. Trash steals it from Zap. And that's what puts them in. That is the nail in the coffin.
Hello, Zap. Welcome, my friend. Give me a hug. And that, I think, booms the Mustangs. I think, I'm a genius. The Vultures win it. You have time to get back into this if you're the Mustangs. But now, you have to score quickly. Oh, that was a good opportunity. You have to score. Like, within the next, I would say, 20 seconds. It's a good opportunity to do so. And if you can do so, you're still in it. But if you don't, I think the Vultures win.
And look at this. There's a great opportunity here. They're wasting so much time. Bots puts it up in the air. He'll try to get it down for Richard, but Richard and Kitsune, they both retreat. This is so smart. They're wasting so much time. But the best an open net. He blocks it and still goes in.
That shouldn't have happened. That shouldn't have. That was a terrible shot from Zap. But Trash is like, hello, my friend. We stay in this one. Just says, bye, Richard. If you can bump, so can I. And that keeps the Mustangs in it. It's anyone's ball game, and now all the momentum on the Mustangs right now.
Oh no. I thought it was over. I thought nail, coffin, hammer, slam. But you know what? That nail was a dud. it snapped when they tried to nail it in the coffin. And they'll need to slam in a new one if they want to put this one away. It's off the crossbar, and they dented another one. That could be the
Oh, but the miss!
opportunity.
There's no time. And a double demo? Kitsune, who are you? What are you?
Oh my God! Winning clutch! That's who he is. He's a team player who clutches it
He
out for
equally
his team.
disgusts me and amazes me. He's just a demo freak, but it works. And with 11 seconds left, they might have resecured the dub.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've seen the rise and fall of the Vultures. 6-game winning streak for them. And for the Mustangs, their 4, or in my opinion, 5-game winning streak comes to an end. Their perfect score other than their forfeit is forfeited. They have lost. And now they're 5-2 for their season with their first credited game loss. And the Vultures take it away. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we just witnessed what should be the grand finals of this season. Sadly, it'll probably be the semifinals.
You know, I mean, avoiding the contest. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I knew from the start. It was in the script. That's why I predicted it. You know, we just, I'm not even surprised, not even upset, not even excited. It's whatever. It was a mediocre game. Let's
Not
be
even
honest.
excited,
Mediocre in
huh?
a way. And, you know, whatever.